Listen, I don't even fall in temptation. When you're truly happy with her, there's no need to look at the
I just want the record to reflect that his wifey is here.
Even if she wasn't here.
You wouldn't do it, Chad.
Would I say the same thing?
So what makes
Probably not.
So how do you know she's the one?
This is how you know she's the one.
Oh, speak.
Right? I'm a gamer. And the importance of gaming is something that I put first in life for any woman, sometimes even before my kids.
Yeah.
Because it's a way of revenue and the way I pay my bills.
Right.
If this certain individual calls my phone in the middle of gaming and I'm willing to press pause, that's how you know she's the one.
We had to fight to get a meal, yeah, wrongfully accused. We had to fight to get a pills. That's why we right to get a deal. He on the team, he gotta eat, you know, despite your skills. Keep it riding for the fam, you gotta light the wheels straight up. But in the past bad, work up in the trash bag. I'll pass a lot to take the test before I pass class. Yeah, and my family needed bread, I had to come correct. That's why I keep airing it out like I just passed gas.
I don't believe in men with leg tattoos.
You don't believe in them?
I don't need my legs to put tattoos on, but I see you don't believe that.
Just say you scared.
Scared of what?
The needle.
I put a tattoo on my eye. But I'm not gonna put a tattoo on my calf, because that's feminine.
I got that.
That's a feminine.
I got all that.
Says
feminine.
Who?
Well, y'all motherfuckers are feminine. Oh, Lord Jesus. I don't want that. I can't make no baby for you, Brandon.
I got all that.
Bro, you got it all the way up to your manhood?
Yeah, I got all that.
Bro,
What's crazy,
you are a man.
What's crazy is when I first got in the league, I had a D lineman, I forget his name, Cali dude. You know Cali dude, I love y'all, but it's different. So I had a Cali dude, he was talking about, yeah, I'm about to get hit up all my whole leg. I was like, bro, what? In my head, I was like, that just ain't right.
Yeah, because you're a man.
Fast forward 10 years later, I got both my legs done.
So you became not a man.
That's what you think it is?
Bro, men do not get tattoos on their thigh. That shit is sexy.
How you gonna tell people what the
tattoo on your thigh? That's for a woman.
You gotta check yourself, bro.
Bro,
that's sexy.
You call it sexy.
Hey,
though.
you from Florida, bro. You know, 10 years ago, you wasn't even thinking that way.
You wouldn't put that on your thigh 10 years ago.
Hoover did. You know, 10 years ago, where you from, y'all wasn't thinking about no hitting up your thigh and all of that. This is new age
10
stuff.
years ago, where I'm from, everybody, they was killing and selling dope. So what are you saying? Tattoos aren't new. Tattoos just didn't start.
No, that's not true. We had,
we both had. Come on, man.
Gino, when I first got you copied me. You copied me. You went to Gino get your.
What happened? B, he got your. He got your stuff.
All I know is I was one of the first in the league, even before you, Fred, to get a sleeve.
Dude, I had tattoos when I was in high school. Y'all late.
B, you got a sleeve when you got to Miami.
That's true.
So who taught you how to get a sleeve?
Yeah.
He linked up
I think
with
it's
Gino.
fair. All right, no, so this show, we're gonna have that discussion that we had here about women, and then we're gonna go into the whole Tom Brady, Belichick conversation and be relevant, AB.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Man, AB, and what Brady's doing without Belichick, what Belichick's doing without Brady. We got some good stuff for him today.
But I will say this, though, the last thing about the leg tattoo, bro, you gotta shave your legs, bro. How often you shave your legs? That's the problem when you got a leg tattoo. It look good when you shave your legs.
It does not look good.
How you gonna tell me what look good?
I would say one thing, if you start shaking, I'll throw some money at you. That's what I see when I see that tattoo.
All right, so look, a couple shows ago, basically we were talking about women, and then you kind of excluded Ocho. You're like, well, you don't have
a wife.
You don't have no wife, whatever. He's like, no, I'm married, and that was breaking news. Everybody like, what you mean you have a wife? You have a lady? Like, tell us about her. So anyways, you all booed up, kissing and all of that.
Yes.
When I saw you doing all that, and it's a little awkward. I don't think you know how to kiss, but I know, bro. I'm just saying, it's just awkward seeing people kissing in public. So when you do see somebody kiss,
how's it awkward being affectionate?
Why you judging though?
I ain't judging, bro.
You just say he look like he don't know how to kiss. That ain't your job.
Bro, you like, yo.
You heard me? Think about what I did before football. You tell me I don't know how to kiss.
Oh, don't go down there. Don't go down there.
What'd you do?
No, you know what he about to say. Don't come on.
You know what I did when I was in college?
Amateur porn.
I did amateur porn.
Chad, I would kill your ass at amateur porn.
Oh my God.
Where we going with this?
Talk about.
I don't know where they're going, but I'm answering questions.
No, where you going, man?
Time out. All right,
whole
hold
question
on.
been fed.
All right, hey, listen. Seeing you, all booed up, doing all that, that's debatable if you know what I'm saying, you know what you're doing, whatever. It made me think about being in a locker room. It came a point where we became that veteran player, and guys came to us about everything. I learned how to tie my tie.
When did that happen?
For me, it was probably like year 5.
That's crazy to be a 5th-year guy.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that's the one thing I asked you about, because when are you a veteran? In year 5. Because the NFL is not for long.
It's different for other guys. I think when guys see you move a little differently, they see you, there's this side of us where it's like, we want to explore the world and we have access to everything. There's women, there's money, there's fame, there's all of that. But I do think the guys that I always looked up to was the guys in the locker room that was counterculture. There was the guys like the Mike Gaines of the world who, was deep into his faith, and he had a lady, he was wifed up, and I was like, dang, I want to be more like that. It's different for every guy. They just see us moving differently. So my question is this for you guys. There comes a time in the locker room where you become the vet, and you got that one question, that rookie guy or that young player that comes up to you and say, when did you know that she was the one? You know what I'm saying? We get that, where it's like, man, you see these guys thinking about it, and then you got to have that conversation with them. So seeing you all booed up made me think about that one moment in the locker room where so many guys came up to me like, B, when did you know that she was the one?
I want Chad to answer first.
Listen,
She right there.
when you talk about like the one, do you ever really know? Think about it. And then when you have the question in the locker room, which is different because these dudes that have already made it are meeting women when they've already established. So how do you know she's the one? How do you answer that as a vet at that time? Because that's a question that was never asked to me.
I sat down with a young wide receiver last week. There's a lot of college athletes opting out. So at House of Athlete, we train combine guys going from college to NFL. And I sat down with one of these young wide receivers, and the first thing I do when I meet with them, I say, what is your bit wall? What makes you the best in the world at this thing? And we go through as a man, as a professional, and as a baller. And I also go through goals. And one of the things that he said, because I was like, so tell me about, what do you think about women? I'm like, do you want kids? Do you want to be married? Talk to me about that. And one of the things that he said as he began to write down his answers, he was like, well, I got this girl that I just met, and I'm trying to make this work because I don't want to get to the league and marry somebody or get somebody who just find me then. So I let him talk, and then I had that same perception, that same thought. I was like, man, I got to marry somebody, or the person I'm going to marry is going to be somebody I met in middle school, elementary school, because I don't want them to love me for what I do. Fast forward to where I'm at now, what I said to him, I was like, look, bro, don't do that. Don't rush it. You know what I'm saying? Because what you need to do is you need to understand who you are. You need to understand what you're looking for. You need to find someone that you see the world the same way. Like when you talk about finances, you talk about traveling the world, even eco-friendly. It don't make any sense. I gave him an example. I said, if you're a guy that's eco-friendly and you don't like plastic, and your lady, she's one that order all the bottles in the world, plastic bottles in the world, that's going to be a problem. So I said, don't worry about that, because that's going to be the biggest decision you ever make. But what you need to understand is the process of figuring out if she is the one. And it's all about relationships. It's all about understanding who you're compatible with. So, I think it is an interesting question. For me, if I could go back, I would take the time with Mishi and really get to know her for who she is. And I would, even before that, I would take the time to understand who I am. I didn't understand who I was as a man.
Bingo.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what it meant to be in a marriage. I didn't understand what, my perception of what a woman is in a household. I didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? So we had to bump our heads. We had to fight and for years to finally get to that process.
And how long are you and Michi?
10 years this year.
10 this year. And me and my wife are 10. Married for 10. Me and my wife, what are you and Michi? 13, 12, 13? Me and my wife are the same way. Let me just lay this out there for all us. The money's there. The money's gonna be there. A lot of people fight for the money. A lot of people grind for the money. And I'm gonna tell y'all this, once you have the money, what is it? Once the money's already there, once you got 3, 4 million, 23, 34 million, 45, 67 million, whatever that millions are, the money's there. Why do you love each other?
But the money.
But Fred, why do you love each other?
You asked the right question, and within you know, what you presented, what Chad talked about briefly, what you talked about, it's a million different dynamics, so many different ends of the spectrum. It's not enough time in this show to really touch upon everything, because you're talking
do
about
a whole series on it.
No, of course.
On why would
but hold up, but you're talking
real
about
quick, Fred, this question is, why would a millionaire get married to a non-millionaire?
that has nothing to do with it. You meet somebody, you're having a good time, and you're in the moment. It's about the relationship more than the money. It's about, you know, how you guys make each other feel more than the money. You're not thinking about the money because you want to make sure she's good. You want to be able to share your riches and the things you've done with her.
So
right?
you never thought about, like, you know,
that should never be priority. You
but
know
a
what
lot
I'm
of
saying?
dudes are, bro.
But B. Marsha's saying you got to think about it. You got to think about if she's there for the money or she's there for you. You have to think about it, and a lot of guys get caught up in not thinking about the money because some people think money is everything.
If you got to think about the money, you should have put your shoes on faster. That went over your head.
That went over my head. That went over my head.
That went over everybody's head because I don't give a fuck about putting your shoes on faster or slower, if it's time or not time. If the motherfucking woman that you're talking to is about money, you should not marry her.
And if you got to worry about that, you should have got out of there a long time ago if you worried about that.
The money should not be what it's about.
If you worried about if she gonna play you for your bread, that means going into it, you had that question at the beginning. That should never been a thought.
You should have cut that shit off
So
back.
why?
And you
So
should have went to the club.
are you worried about the money now?
If you are worried about the girl with money, you should have let her go and told her.
But it ain't always about the girl with money.
Hey, I'll call you Wednesday, and went to the club the next night and found another that you can see if she's gonna talk about.
That's why I said it went over your head. You should have put your shoes on faster.
Fred,
now
you can't put your shoes on faster, Fred. I done hit the baddest.
You don't understand what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, break it down for us real quick.
You back to square one.
I done hit the baddest.
If you insert yourself into that situation, in that playground, right? Knowing this is who I'm dealing with, and you let yourself stay there and play a little longer than you should, that's your fault. You should have been got the f out of
I was playing in that
playground. You gotta ask all
playground.
them questions.
So that's
You know
the
what I'm
thing.
saying?
I was over here longer than I should have been over there.
See, that's the problem.
Real talk, bro. No.
But
I'm
that's
asking.
the problem. So that should never come
should
back
have been
to
over here
it.
long
Because
as
in
I
the
was
back
over
of your
there.
mind, you're always saying it's a million different ways you can protect what you say your
The nest egg.
the
I
nest
love the
egg,
nest
right?
egg, bro.
So it's a million different ways you can do that.
Like a
At the end of the day, are you really in love? Are you infatuated by the thought of being in love? Like, what is it?
That's what young guys, and we're trying to help out young dudes, right? We're trying to help out dudes in the league right now. Fred, please explain what you just said to all the young guys in the league right now. Is it love? Is it infatuation? Is what is that? And I think a lot of guys get stuck on that.
It's a time, it's a clock that goes off in your head that says, this is where I need to be. I need to be married by this age. Or this is the type of woman I need to be with. I need to be with an independent woman. If you're gonna be with an independent woman, bro, you're gonna be with some headaches.
Yes.
Because they not selling for no bullshit. They are strong as f. If you wanna be with a dependent woman, yeah, maybe you're gonna be able to run around and do whatever you wanna do, but that's what you signed up for. So that's probably gonna be the one, she's dependent. She's gonna depend upon that check. So when things go south, she's gonna hit the pockets. So it depends on what you're looking for.
But I don't know. I disagree with you when you talk about the independent women and it being headaches. It's more so about
not a headache.
Okay,
no, you're right.
So an independent
pause on
woman
that.
to
You're
me
right.
is someone that says, like, I don't need you. It's not about the
100%.
headache and arguing. It's just so many more things about that. And for me, it starts with, again, who are you? What is your perception of a woman? What box do you put a woman in? Right? Because I think a lot of us men, and I think this new age man is breaking the mold, but we put our women in the box and say, you cook, you clean, you stay at home.
That's old.
That is old, but you can't tell me that's not what we saw from our fathers and our grandfathers.
Bro, we're the generation to break the mold of cook and clean.
I believe
we are the generation to break the mold of cook and clean. Bro, my wife is a go-getter. My wife does real estate and she just grinds and she tells me, baby, give me 200,000, I'll bring you 290 back. And this is bigger picture. That's what the black man needs to thrive for, is a black woman that knows she's gonna grind and knows what she wants to do. B, I know your wife. Fred, I know your wife. Chad, I just met Sherelle, and I can see that she's gonna do her thing. But all jokes aside, bro, that's what young men need. Do not get somebody that's gonna ride your coattail.
That's true. What tend to happen is we ask our ladies to put everything on hold for our career because our career is so big, right? This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. There's less than 1% of the population do what we do. And we're asking them, your dreams, just put it on hold right now. And I to your point, what I think we need to start focusing on more is when we get in these relationships, it's like, who am I as a man and who are you as a woman? And let's build it together. But it can never be, lopsided. Even if we get into, there's a lot of women, professional women, that are doing amazing things, and there's men that's riding their coattail as well. And what we got to do is say, who are you and who am I? And then let's bring it together. And if we do have an at-home dad, an at-home mom, it has to be, are you comfortable with this? Is this what you really want? So I think that the conversation is dynamic, but it really starts with who we are first before we come together.
So just really going back to it, I just want to make sure I clarify that not necessarily a headache, but a challenge. They're going to push you.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
right.
There are some
she
things,
pushed me, boy.
There are some things
in a lot of areas.
A lot of us in the NFL, sports in general, we're alpha males. That's what we want to be. And you have a lot of guys that tend to say, I did this, I built this, I got to where I am. And they tend to forget that once you sign up and once you enter in that agreement, that relationship, you're a team now, all over again. Right. That doesn't mean you got a foot and carry the load. You got to understand you got somebody that's willing to carry the load too. Now, they're not going to always be in agreement with you. And that's what I mean about the challenges.
Yeah.
If you have somebody that's just
the
a
work you got to
pushover,
do. But that's the work you got to do.
Some women want to stay home
because it comes down to
okay.
perception. How do you view a man? How do you view a woman?
Correct.
Ocho, how do you view women? You know what I'm saying? When we talk about relationships and coming together, yeah, I mean that was shocking to America. You booed up. You say you booed up, right? When did you know she was the one? What kind of advice can you give to the younger player?
I mean, I really not the one to really be giving advice. For one, I'm a late bloomer to it anyway. Mm-hmm. You've been doing it for a while with the discipline. You've been doing it for a while. So I'm on the back end. I'm on the back end late in life, figuring it out, obviously who I am and what it is that I actually need, And I don't want to say the wrong thing to offend anybody from my past. Everybody was wonderful. Everybody was wonderful. And I think what I have now, which I don't think I've ever had before, is someone to provide me with a little structure.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, with a little structure.
Right.
And again, not to be offensive to anybody else, but the pendulum is even. It's not lopsided. Again, I'm trying to say the right thing.
It ain't about nobody else in the past. It's about you now in the future. What you talking?
I don't think y'all understand.
But so let me ask you this, right? You talk about structure. Do you feel like you being challenged for the first time, somebody telling you Chad, this is right, this is wrong, you know what I mean? Really holding you accountable?
Bingo.
But that's what I mean by right and wrong, you know what I mean?
Well, you already know what right from wrong is anyway.
Do we as men?
Yeah,
because here's the thing.
Yeah,
but let me tell you this. Let me say why. Let me say why I'm going here. It's because look, when you find the one, and they say yo, this is an area where you need growth. They hold you accountable there, or they look at you and say, if you don't fix this, I'm out of there. You're gonna tighten up, right? So that's what I mean by that, right? Because there's some things about us, we're not perfect.
Nobody's
you know what I'm saying?
perfect.
So when you find that one, and you're like, I'm willing to do something that I haven't been willing to change or look at forever, that's when it's she might be the one. Because I truly believe, man, we're supposed to challenge our women to be better for, and it's constructive criticism and vice versa, women. And I think it's more so women challenging us men to be better in certain areas. And I know for my wife personally, she has looked at me in so many different areas, and it's I didn't get it at the time, but now I was dang, she made me better. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Did you settle or did you compromise?
Compromise. I think relationships all about compromise because you got two different people coming from two different walks of life. we see the world totally different. We have totally different experiences. So what's supposed to happen when we come together, it's not about right or wrong. It's about that compromise. It's about, okay, I validate what you see and what you feel, and vice versa. Now, because I know how you feel, let's work through that and come to a compromise, come to a solution. That's where we fail as in our relationships, is we're trying to get to right and wrong, and it's not about that. It will never be right or wrong. It's all about the compromises, because how I was raised is totally different than how you was raised.
So with that being said, we can go back generations. We hear our great-grandparents speak, our grandparents speak, our mom and our dad speak. We look at ourselves. Generations change, right? And when you look at today's generation, you got guys coming out, just talking about sports.
Yeah.
You're talking about kids that are 5-star, 300,000 followers coming out of high school. Everybody telling them how great they are. They go to college, 500,000. They're telling they're going to be a first-round athlete. So now these guys, the ego is taking over, right? So
Yeah,
how do you tell them, look, you got to learn how to compromise with a woman.
That's easy. You know what I tell them? This is what I tell them, is this. Your ass ain't defined by your sport. And that's the problem with why a lot of our marriages fail, is because we put our players on a pedestal and we say, oh, woe is thee, praise them. And your ass at the end of the day got to go home and be a father. You got to go home and be a husband. And that's more important than the player that you are. And that's the problem, right? And that's why when we had the conversation last episode about AB, it's like, okay, I get it as the player, but who is you as the person? Because that's what you live with every single day. Because when that game is taken away from you, who are you? Because that don't mean nothing. All that money you made, all the fame that you have, that don't mean nothing. And the only people who's going to be there is that wife, is those kids. That's it.
Yes.
You feel me?
No, 100%.
So that's what I would tell, Fred, to answer your question. That's what I would tell those players. That's because we get so caught up in the fame. We get so caught up in that.
And people think football. It was, Fred, and football, and what I'm doing now, what I can do next year, and what I can do last year, and what I did this year, and all of them are caught up in
life.
that. Fred.
Life.
I'm going to ask y'all this, because me and Fred, we done hung it up. Chad, you ain't playing no ball, right?
Man, he 50. 50.
Well, goddamn, B, you talking about you about to go out and play for the Seahawks.
Last season. That was season 1 I was talking about.
Okay, so
playing.
all of us are retired athletes.
We done.
Right? We need to talk to the guys that aren't.
You want to put them on alert, but at the same time, they got to go through these experiences too.
Fred, and I understand what you're saying, but
You
I'm
feel
going to
me?
call out Chad.
Why you calling me out?
He a bully.
You explain
he's a bully.
If you explain to, I am a bully, and I do this for a living. Chad, if you explain to young men what a woman is, I think you can save a bunch of young men's lives.
Did you hear the key word?
And a bunch of young men's
money,
salaries and all that stuff.
Did you hear the key words you just said? Young. You know what happens when you're young? You know what you don't have? Discipline.
Mistakes, man, they're going to happen.
You got to learn through experience. Hell, I had to learn through experience. Lots of them. And I was young.
I guess to push the conversation forward, this is what I would say. Like, I personally, I'm pro-marriage. And I think we as men need to do a better job. Whether you're a professional athlete or not, we got to do a better job of just uplifting our women. And it starts with understanding who we are. That's one. Two, when I talk about being pro-marriage, like there's this thing out there where as a man, like we balling, we got to have all these women. It's, the temptation is real. All of that is, it's real, it's there. But if you're not ready to settle down, don't ask that young lady for her hand in marriage. If you're not ready to be serious and you don't know who you are, don't go down that path. That's a real deal. So go ahead and do your thing, whatever, before marriage. But once you try to settle down, that's a serious thing. And I think that's what we all should be aiming towards. And what's going on in today's world, where it's like, marriage isn't important, relationships isn't important, like have several different ladies or dudes. Like, I just don't believe in that personally. I believe in the thought of family and raising your kids and, you're celebrating your 25th anniversary, your 50th anniversary. That's what I believe in.
Everybody's different. Everybody's timing is different. Some, you were ready for it earlier, then maybe some people weren't.
Yeah.
You've been 10 years?
Yeah, but I'll be honest, I think the timing was wrong for me because I didn't know who I was first.
But you figured it out.
Yeah, but we went through a lot. We went through a lot.
I'm going to tell y'all this, and I'm going to tell the young guys this. Get you a damn woman to tackle life with this.
Get somebody that's going to make you happy.
Tackle life with a woman that you want to tackle life with.
I'm trying to lay them up. That conversation over there, you talking about I asked you how many times you knew she won, and you ain't even tell the story about the video games.
You got to use it from up there because it ain't authentic when me saying it again.
It is authentic. You trying to recreate something, but tell the truth, bro. You play video games.
You got to put it from up here?
No,
you got to use it again.
Yeah, you talking about, when she's the one, bro. That's what I was trying to go to, and you trying to be all TV
What
savvy.
makes us great is the authenticity, and it's organic. And I'm not recreating it because it ain't real.
It is real, because you knew she was the one when she called and you stopped playing
I told you
video
why
games.
right there, right? It was authentic and organic in that moment. Replaying the moment is like acting. I feel like
acting. You said
acting.
that too.
That's his problem. That's his problem, though. He's too real. That's what's wrong with some of y'all Miami dudes. Y'all too real. Like, bruh, it's okay to tell the story 3 times, bruh.
No, you can't.
They don't know. They don't know. They need you to tell. They need to learn from our experiences, bro.
They ain't listening to me. They ain't
Yeah,
listening
they
to
is
me.
listening to you. Every time, like, hey, can you tell Ocho to call me this and that? You knew she was the one when she called and you was playing video games.
Hey.
And so that's your story. And you knew she was the one
when I walked out of the strip club. That's where it's at.
So Channing, you was like, hold on, get up.
Bro, you want me to start it?
No.
I know we had to reset everything. Y'all want me to start it?
All right, here we go. So Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm trying to push this conversation forward.
Sit back, rude boy.
Tom Brady and Belichick, there was a big conversation going into this year. Who was more important to all of their success, right? You look at the 6 Super Bowls, you look at how they dominated year after year for 20 years, it felt like. Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots imploding. They lost to the 49ers, they lost to the Denver Broncos. And then you also look at Tom Brady on fire, doing things that he did in 2007, 2010 when he was league MVP. So I guess that's my question to you guys. Who was more important to the Patriots' success? Was it Tom Brady or Bill Belichick?
I think it's a little bit of both. Yeah. I think it's a little bit of both, but if I'm gonna have to give an edge to somebody, it would obviously have to be Tom. Right. The one thing about the Patriots organization is
and you was there.
Yeah, the pieces to that puzzle over there, it consistently changes every year, but there was always one dynamic that always stayed the same. Everything around them changed, except that one centerpiece, and that was Tom. So regardless of what changed around him, the dynamic of winning was always there.
Yeah.
So coaching has some type of play into that, obviously. And then Tommy leaving, even when Tommy went down, I forgot the quarterback that had the fill-in. They still
Castle.
They still was able to go 10-6. And now that
I think they won 11 games.
11
they won 11 games.
11-5. That was 08.
Okay. And now that Tommy is gone, that centerpiece is gone. And the success is not the same. So that obviously lets everybody know. Despite the defense is still good. Right. Defense is still good, but that offensive piece.
Which is Bill Belichick's thing.
Yeah, it's defense. Obviously not the offensive side of the ball, but now Tommy's going, look what's happening offensively. I love Cam. I want the offense to work. Obviously they had to.
Do you not love anybody? Like it seems like you love everybody. Like give me one person you really don't like. Because every time, I love you. Oh, love.
You say love.
To everybody.
It's loose. Yeah.
I don't think there's nobody in this world I don't like. And there might be people that dislike me, but I think that's more an issue with them than it is with me because I ain't do nothing wrong.
But don't you think that's an issue? You can't love everybody, bro.
Yeah, I love you.
Yeah, but I ain't never did nothing to you.
Do you love him?
Yeah, I love Chad.
I love you too. Hey, Fred, I love you, Fred.
I love you too, bro.
Camera guy. I love you, dude.
Belichick and Brady, right? It was a perfect marriage for as long as it lasted. And now you're looking at what makes the NFL with the rule changes and everything. You have a veteran quarterback, a great quarterback in Tom Brady. So I think it's a bit of a 55-50. I won't even call it that big of a margin. I got to call it that. Belichick's a great coach.
55-50.
My math. Oh. Way off. What I'm drinking.
But
55, 45.
I'm with you, Fred.
Up yourself. You added it up.
Fred, we did, and it was way higher than 100.
But that's already. I didn't discredit nobody.
You discredit yourself.
I need knocking. Y'all got
Show's
me
gonna
crying.
be amazing.
Hey, what his numbers was again? What it was?
I'm like, 55, 50.
Yeah, baby.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all got my stomach hurt.
Yeah, bro.
My stomach hurt.
Bro.
My stomach hurt.
All right, so let's push it forward real quick. People like ourselves, our shows, we use athletes, entertainers, even just the everyday person, everybody did a great job of just using their platform to talk about how they feel about the political climate. We're shooting this before we know who the president is. So I want to get your thoughts, Fred. So Donald Trump wins. What do you think the U.S. looks like? Biden wins. What does the U.S. look like? I want to get your thoughts there.
If Trump wins, you know, we're going to be right back in terms of mindset, at least with a lot of voters, definitely black voters, our votes don't count. But I think really it goes on to a lot more of what we just got the last 4 years. You know, a lot of divisive rhetoric, a lot of lies, a lot of pretending. People that see real everyday problems that act like they don't exist. They act like there's no racial tensions. Some people tend to act like systemic racism doesn't exist. It'll be a lot of the same exact things.
So you don't think we get better with Trump and getting elected to a second term?
You know what? I don't know, because he actually showed us who he is. We got 4 years. It doesn't take long for somebody to show you who they are. Now they're talking about Civil War. Why? Has it gotten that bad? Has it gotten that bad for America that we're on the brink of even having a conversation about Civil War? Yeah. We would never be there if this guy wasn't in office. So his divisive rhetoric is the reason why we even having this conversation.
So you're saying just having a conversation is all bad?
That's just the conversation is just bad. So we get so involved in, you know, he's raising taxes, he's doing this, he's doing that. You know, try to find a way to look at their policies, right? And vote with your gut instinct, and go from there.
Everything you just said, though, think about all the celebrities that came out that didn't like the fact that they're going to get taxed. 50 Cent, some other individuals that it didn't really sit well with them.
50 Mike Tyson?
Lil Pump.
Lil Pump.
Who?
Yeah.
But you got to understand, these people aren't always the most highly educated people, and I'm not discrediting them. They got to feel the way they got to feel about their hard-earned money. And that's everybody's decision, right?
So you also got to understand, so I Am Athlete was pre-recorded, and you know, we would love to have this conversation, you know, in real time. But the reality is, you know, we feel good about everyone participating and voting. You know, we just need to continue to stay together and continue to push this conversation forward. It's not over.
55-50. Your vote don't count.
Yo, that boy said 55-50.
That's not the number.
We mess up sometimes, bro.
We had to fight to get a meal. Yeah, wrongfully accused. We had to fight to get appeals. That's why we right to get a deal. He on the team, he gotta eat, you know. Despite your skills, keep it riding for the fam. You gotta light the wheels straight up. But in the past bad, work up in the trash bag. I'll pass a lot to take the test before I pass class. Yeah, and my family needed bread. I had to come correct. That's why.